Okay, so hey, it is someone's birthday today. Woo! You guys excited? Anybody? Anybody? It is
Yeah.
actually it's not today, it was yesterday. It
No.
is Love Our City's 10th birthday. So 10 years ago,
Hey.
we officially became a nonprofit. At that time, my wife reminded me I had an 8-month-old at that time. And she said, "What the heck are you doing?" Or just, you just quit your job and now you're just kind of hoping you raise funds and here we are 10 years later. I mean, go figure. And so it's been quite an amazing journey. Man, I remember that first week of just, yeah, it's crazy, absolutely crazy. But here we are, all these cities and book and this new app and all this stuff is, it's amazing how it's all come together here. Not without challenges though, for sure. But I appreciate you all being on this journey with me and just together as we try to help love our cities the best we can. And who would have known 10 years ago we'd be where we're at now, just as a divided country, as a divided, families are divided. I mean, just communities, all the divisions. And I think God knew, you know, that he's using us to help unify and to focus on, caring about people and making our community the best it can be. So anyhow, happy 10th birthday, Love Our Cities. Okay, speaking of the app, now if y'all want to right now, if you haven't done so, take your phones out and unless you're driving and go to your app store and type in Volunteer Central and you'll see our new app that we're piloting this app in my community right now. So we're making all the mistakes and people are giving us lots of grace when little things aren't working right. For the most part, it's working amazing. And actually some data, and Danielle, you don't know this, but in the first 24 hours since we released it, we have 218 volunteer opportunities on that app and 29 have been fulfilled. We have 29 volunteer opportunities
That's
that people say,
awesome.
"Hey, I need a music producer." Boom, someone's signed up for that. Or I need help at this food, pantry or whatever it is. You'll see the different opportunities on there. And when you go up, you'll choose your city right now. Of course, your cities aren't on there yet. But our hope is in coming months, as we get everything fine tuned and ready to go, so it's seamless that you can add this to your city offerings as well. So give us some time to work out some of the kinks and all that. But bottom line is it's working. And it's 5 years in the making of not just offering a volunteer day once a year to our community, but the complement is now throughout the year round opportunities to volunteer. This is Love Our Cities 2.0, and it's interesting. It's exactly 10 years later. Took that long. But I really believe that we're going to be as well known for what we do year round than what we do just one day a year. And some of you guys are already doing a lot of stuff year round, and I get that. I think this will just be a value add. And it's going to be pretty seamless in how to get organizations on board and how to get people to sign up. And I'm just so excited for what this next year is going to bring to us and to all your cities. So Volunteer Central. So download the app and check it out. Again, it's just for this community right now, but you can envision what it'd look like for your community. Partner organizations, volunteer opportunities, a leaderboard for your community, rewards that you would get your own rewards, Starbucks or whoever. And this is gonna work, man. It is working. October 31 is just a few weeks away. That is our annual when we say, hey, everyone needs a re-up on their contract and just sign it, re-up on your yearly contribution. We're not increasing, even though we're offering this app that has set us back a lot, but we believe in it. But we're not asking for our cities for any more dollars, for even adding this. So we're just still going to the same amount, whatever you were last year. We're asking for that same annual contribution in that contract. So the sooner you can get it in before October 31, we would appreciate it. Keeps us organized and we don't have time to chase you down. So if you can do that even today or this week, that would be awesome. All right, back to you, Danielle.
Thanks, Jeff. Feels like a
Look at you. It's like a talk show.
yeah. Um, hey, so I wanted to first point out, so we're gonna get to our fall cities coming up. Those who have already happened, there's a couple of you. But I wanted to talk quick on those spring cities. You are officially 6 months out. And your video was off, Jeff. It's all right.
I'm such a dork.
But hey, so I wanted to point out something that I have used. Jeff, will you turn on the screen share for me? I
Yes.
have used almost every year for planning. Just this is a super simple planner. It's on our resource page. And I'm gonna share it in a second. There we go. Um, so this is on our resource page here. If you guys can see it, can everyone see it? And truly, this is just a super cool way. Like if you need really succinct planning in an Excel sheet, this is in our resource page. It's literally called the Volunteer Day Planner. But this has always helped me. And if you have done this 100 times, maybe you don't need this, maybe you have your own. But if you are still kind of figuring out how you do things, this is a really great resource for you. So I just wanted to point that out for any of you spring cities coming up that maybe just need a little help planning. And this has so many things. It has all your to-dos from your super simple, design your t-shirt, like or just everything on there, and then it goes into your schedule of what you would want, or your project leaders, typing those out. But just wanted to point that out to all of you guys. Just thinking, planning ahead, getting ready, just a little reminder of you are officially 6 months out from your spring day. So I hope you're getting involved.
Well, and I
uh,
gotta say this too. We
yeah.
went through this yesterday and we're talking designing our t-shirts yesterday and just we're 6 months out. So there's a list out there. Here's all the things we should be doing and thinking about 6 months out because it's
Yeah.
coming quick,
Yep.
especially after Christmas. I mean, it's major go time in January. But as much as we can get done now before the holidays, oh my gosh, it saves us so much time.
Yeah. 100%. Yep. But yeah, I mean, that's just one of the really great things on our resource page. I did just put a link to that, not that specific Excel sheet, but that page on our resource page. So it's in the chat now. But yeah, just kind of a quick reminder, you're 6 months out, and we've got some cool resources for you. um let me So the other thing that I want to get to, and I promised to get to, is our fall days, our fall volunteer days. We have actually had a couple already. I know Anaheim had a really successful day, Los Alamitos, and I think a couple others in there. But I wanted to ask you guys, because I know you both, well, all three of you technically are on here. Angel, Nathan, and Eve, if you guys would share just kind of a highlight of from your days, just kind of what was one of your favorite things that happened, or maybe just an impactful moment for you or for a volunteer that you heard of. Would love to hear that, just kind of to hear and encourage others, and just kind of hear from you. So and celebrate. Um, Angel, I'm gonna pick on you first, so go for it.
Perfect. I was ready to go first. Uh, and highlight for us on that day, I would say, is so one of the projects we had was a senior landscaping project within our city. And there was a baseball club, they're called the Lions Baseball Club. And they brought out about maybe like, I want to say 12 or 13 participants. They're like maybe 7 to 10 years old in that age range. And then they were with their parents and families, and they went to this senior residence home, and they did a huge like landscaping project on her backyard and her front yard, and they were pulling weeds out, they were removing plants, and there was so much trash that there was no place to hold it. And so I had to come with a couple of our staff in our truck, and we loaded up just bags and bags and bags of like plants and all these different things. And it was really cool to see. And I know when I got there, she was super appreciative of it, and she was so happy, and she just felt so loved and just felt so cherished. So seeing that, the smile on her face and her husband's face as well, it definitely made like, you know, the everything that we do, it made it worth it.
Yeah.
So it was really cool to see.
That's awesome. I love hearing that. It's a really, really cool project. Thank you for sharing that.
Of course, of course.
All right, Nathan or Eve, either of you want to share?
Well, I'll share a couple of things. We had 22 projects. A number of them were off campus. One was a whole mobile home park nearby that we usually hit them up a month ahead of time with a note to every of there's 200 homes in there, and then see who needs yard work or different things. So we have a church adopt that project usually. So this year was the same. Church adopted it. They actually did yard work at 25 different mobile homes, and then they have a little assembly project option for seniors in the clubhouse, and then we do a lunch there for the volunteers and some seniors. So that's probably one of my highlights, in addition to just the generational diverse group that comes out. And ours, we have a decentralized model, so we do multiple events throughout the year with several hundred people. So it's a smaller, more quaint, model. So anyway, it was fabulous. We had about 235 people, 22 projects.
That's awesome. Way to go. Yeah, I think the way that you guys do it, you don't have like one specific volunteer day. It's just kind of spread out throughout. You have like a few different smaller volunteer days. And I say smaller, even though I think those are larger than my big volunteer day, which is fine. I've got a smaller city.
But
and
we
I think
do a
that's
lot
really
of
unique.
we do a lot of 50 or 20 to 50 people also.
Yeah,
So yeah, we just have it throughout the year model.
that's really
It's
cool.
it's not easy to do either.
Yeah.
Constant and activity and energy management.
That's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My probably favorite part was we had so many volunteers, we finished early. I was busy doing something and I came out for lunch and everybody had eaten and left. And I thought, oh, but that many hands make the work light.
Yep.
We had a new lady this year that develops teams to receive refugees. That's a need in our city. We have refugees in our city.
Yeah.
And so that was quite interesting, getting to know her and what they do to bring people here. Told a couple of stories, someone here from Ukraine, and very interesting.
Yeah.
I tell one more story, Danielle. So we get a lot of donations of different things. So we get about 6 pallets of paper, broken packages of paper towels, toilet paper and stuff. So we have distribution options so we can distribute those. But at one of our projects at our August 31st day was called Toilet Paper Touch Point. And we took donated toilet paper rolls, 500 of them. We put them in tubs. And then we had a group that wrapped them really with a single sheet of tissue paper kind of up around it. And then prepared a string and a tag that said, we love you. And we did 500 of those. And the group was really rewarded. It was a fun project. And then we handed those out the next couple weeks, and people love those. And so that's going to become I call it a staple project. So we're just going to keep on doing those and handing them out. And that's something people could do at their location, almost like a do-it-yourself,
Right.
thing.
Yeah.
So that was really fun too.
I love just the creativity in like, yeah, you can hand out some toilet paper, like, and that would be great. But to make it feel more intentional and like you said, I mean, it's a touch point, and it's a touch point of like, I took the time
Yeah.
to put some care into this rather than just giving you some toilet paper. Here's something that looks pretty and it looks like someone else actually, touched this and said, "Hey, I'm going to care for this person." I think that's amazing. So, well done on that creativity. Whoever thought of that. Um Cool. Well, thank you guys for sharing. I know that our crew is a little bit smaller today. But so I'm gonna put the City Fall dates that I have. If I am missing any, please let us know. But I think these are all of them. Um, and we're gonna take a second. So the last, I don't know, 15 or so, 13 minutes that we have. Um, the whole point of these calls is, yes, we get together and we're sharing information and all of that, but a huge heart of this call is to just network with one another, and network with people who have done this a gazillion times to the people that have done this 0 times and are doing it for their first time. And I know, like for myself, I mean, my city, we've technically done a volunteer day twice now. And so we are coming up this weekend actually on our third. And so I still very much feel like I'm very new and still learning all of this. I know Cottonwood, I think Stacia's still on here. They're coming up on their very there you are, their very first one. And so, and then, Nathan, I think you've done this, I don't even know, hundreds of times at this point. And Jeff, you've done this obviously for years. And so um what we really kind of wanted to do was give a chance for just kind of more of a networking opportunity here. And so talk about, hey, if you have a date coming up, or maybe you have you're starting to think about your spring day or something like that. What are you excited about? And so what are you excited about? What are you kind of like just looking forward to seeing happen in your community? And then we're gonna get to kind of a portion where we can be like, hey, where are you stuck, or what questions do you have? What are struggles that you are seeing in your community, and then being able to kind of just answer those questions all together. As again, it's just a network. We're a team. We're all trying to love our communities as best we can. And so being able to just do that together and say, hey, I'm struggling with this, is really helpful. So um I'm just gonna kick us off because, like I said, so I've got our first day coming up, or not our first, but I have our volunteer day coming up this weekend. And I think I'm excited about. We have more volunteers than last year, and honestly, like just seeing that, so seeing a little bit of a growth is really awesome. We have more projects than last year, and we have more volunteers, and for us, I think that is just a really, that's awesome. That's exciting to see more involvement, not just in our community, but we also, like, our projects are more, like, our nonprofits were more engaged in sending in projects, whereas last year we had a handful of projects where our team just kind of like made them, like kindness rocks or things like that. We were like, how can I be creative and get people involved? Whereas this year we had a handful more just nonprofits actually sending in projects. And so I'm really excited about that. And then where I guess I'm stuck and would love just to hear if you guys are feeling the same way or not. But I'm having trouble with having more church engagement. And I feel like I've, messaged and emailed and called our church leaders, and it just feels like there's not as much engagement as one would hope. And maybe it's an expectation difference in my head or not. But would love to just hear your guys' thoughts. Are you having the same struggles? Are you not? What are you doing to help with that, I guess? I have talked enough. Now answer. So if anyone has any thoughts on that, I'd love to hear it.
I was going to say, this is Glow from Manteca. We also had that same thing, and it was frustrating. And, the city looked at it as a crossroads church event. And it was like, no, this is about the city itself. Yes, we're organizing it, but it's the community. So I just started really just blast emailing each individual church and just saying, hey, who in your congregation needs help? What could we do to partner together to help people? Can you come up with one of your own projects that you could lead? And then we can add volunteers to your projects.
Okay.
And then over the years, we've had a couple of churches that have come on board. One that they did a whole neighborhood beautification and, through their church, and we threw volunteers to them. They did all the houses surrounding them and did their yards work and landscaping. And then we actually got to love on a church that needed help physically scraping paint off of some of their facilities and their buildings so they can rent it out. So we've been able to partnership with those churches, and so slowly but surely just keep hope alive. The community starts to see that it's not just your church event, it's actually
Yeah.
a city event. Yeah.
Thank you, Glo. I think that's really no, that's very helpful for sure. And I think, yeah, it's so tricky because it's like you blast it to your churches and to your cities, and like this isn't one, one or the other. It's like the whole point is to have the unity. And so, yeah, and it's just funny. I feel like there's also just I don't know, maybe I feel this way just here. But sometimes I feel like the church communities too, or just kind of our society has gotten into this funny place of like, maybe I'll volunteer. And it's like trying to pull teeth and getting it to be a priority.
Yeah.
To
One of
serve
the
one
big
another.
Yeah, one of the big things that helped us was moving the rallies from the church to the central parks.
Mhm.
That helped because we even had this big Indian community that they cooked breakfast for everybody that volunteered, and we got that church involved as well. So, I mean, yeah, it's kind of like you said, a fine line, trying to not put the facade of your church, but say this is the community.
Yeah.
And reaching out to the leaders helps as well.
Cool. Thank you.
This year we had 2 churches do a project on Sunday morning. And again, this was a smaller event where we had 22 projects. Some of you, it's like your normal serve day, but so 2 different churches said, could we do a project on Sunday morning at our church? And I kind of explored that, and it was actually a project, they ran it. And one of them was 730 little care bags that we ended up giving to every employee of the police department. They did it on a Sunday morning. They incorporated somehow into their morning and their service and stuff like that. And then they delivered it the next week to Pete, the police station. It took 3 hours to do that. So that was kind of their role. It was a single thing they could do, and I'm not sure about the front load planning. They couldn't participate in the August 31st day, and then another church did 200 cards on the same thing as they did it on Sunday morning. They involved people. And then I mentioned that one church owned the Cherokee Mobile Home Park project. So what I've found is just giving them a role and then helping incorporate them into the project, which has its challenges though, because you can't really consolidate everything into a single day. So that's the challenge of it. But I do find what you do is that people, churches or organizations will want to work separately. They want to do their own branded thing, and it's hard to get collaborative energy and synergy. So I wrestle with that all the time, actually.
It's and this is kind of part of just this whole network, right? Is being able to hear from all of you and hear, yeah, I struggle with that too. Or this is how I'm trying to combat it. And so it's really just helpful to hear that. I do not want to take up all the time. And I know, Stacia, you guys have your first day coming up. And so I want to make sure that you've got the space to kind of talk about what you're excited about, or talk about any of the areas that you might feel stuck, and go for it. How can we support you?
I've had to switch gears quite a bit just because of the city and community calendar, right? Like there's just been like so much going on, and I've really wanted to connect with our city parks and rec about like a project they might have. And we had like last weekend was Thunder Valley Rally, it's called. So like all of these, it's like a motorcycle, a big event in the Verde Valley. So like that, like a lot of people. Anyway, so like connecting with those city folks, like when they're planning other larger events, has been a little bit difficult. And so I finally did have some connection this week, and then they were going to kind of brainstorm in a team meeting that they were having yesterday to see about projects. And so I'm looking forward to that. And we're just going to do it's probably going to be 3 projects. We're starting really small. I originally, so we're in central Arizona. I originally was thinking of outdoors, but I think it's just been a lot of like shifting because I've never done, and then like considering time of year, weather and engagement and all of that has been just interesting, because I'm not gifted in event planning, but you know, the Love Our Cities, like the guide is so, it's very clear. And I think like just in the last couple of weeks, a couple of people, like I have a kickoff day leader, I have a project leader we want to do have a family indoor project where we're gonna make cards, so kids, families, parents can make cards for holiday cards for the seniors in our area, and then deliver them to those people we identify, like at our nursing homes and different places. And I have somebody working on like compiling that list. So just in the last couple of weeks, the people who have come along and said like, yeah, like I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this with you. I will say in my interest meetings leading up to now, I have like reached out to other leaders in other churches. I feel like, and I didn't get a response as far as what I feel like, and this is like a time thing, right? But if I were to get in front of somebody like in person and share my heart about what I want to do, that's when I've seen like engagement and coming alongside. And actually the people that are volunteering for positions, social media, promotion, all of that, like I know them, right? They're my friends. They know my heart. Like those are the people that are initially coming alongside. And so I think it just makes a difference. Like I'm such an in-person thing since COVID and all of that, would love to, be in the room with all of you. Like, and I know that's not right. Obviously that's not always possible, but I think like those intentional, specific invites in person is so important. I mean, and what I'm excited, I just felt like I left a meeting on Sunday with the project leader and the kickoff event leader, and I just felt like so excited that this was going to be so refreshing to the soul of our community. Like just that's the words I heard, was like refreshing souls, like to come together And the projects can be anything, right? And we're starting small. And then I'm on the phone with the city on Monday, talking to the Parks and Rec gentleman, and he's like, well, like, how many people are you expecting? And I was like, I will be totally fine if it starts very small, right? Like, I
Yeah.
can't even answer that question, because once we get the website, everything solidified, the date, the location, then we're going to start putting the word out. And I mean, I'm just so, I'm a leader of a nonprofit that's partnered with my church. So like, there's such a faithful body, such a generous, like, community, and I have those connections. And so I'm just excited to see what God will do through this. And after election, you know, and even on the city level, there's just a lot of divisiveness in our own community. And I just think, like, and that's what I've told you guys from before. Like, I just see a lot of healing, a lot of coming together. And I'm totally fine if it starts small, right? So I hope that, like, kind of explains, like, I feel better. Like, I feel like I'm not alone in it. Like, people are coming on board. And I think that's going to even grow and get more traction after we have the day, right? Whatever that looks like. So, and then we'll have small wins and victories that we can report, and then, you know, it'll grow. And then even like, that message of, like, don't overstay your appointment, right? Somebody else could come in and, you know, like, the team will grow, I guess,
Yeah.
the source of the team, right? I mean,
Yeah.
God will do that. So.
Yep, absolutely. And I think you hit the nail on the head as far as, like, and this is for all of us, is celebrating the small and big wins, you know, celebrating whether it's 3 people come out to a project or 175. Like, there is a win and a touch point and an ability to be the hands and feet of Jesus, no matter what, you know, no matter how big, no matter how small. And I think that is, you know, that's the heart of what we do, is just being able to love on our cities and love on people, whether it's one person or whether it's, you know, 6,000 people or whatever that looks like. And so I think you going into this in your first time ever and realizing that and having that heart and understanding, you know, you can celebrate the small wins that will carry you and for years and years to come. And I think that's something that we can all continue to learn and continue to take from. So I don't know. I think it's awesome. And I'm glad that you feel supported, and I hope you continue to feel that way. And I'm just thankful for this call and just the ability to network and be with each other. So, Jeff, I don't know. I know it's 8:45, so I don't know if you have any extra thoughts, or anything like that, but
No, I like if Danielle and I will stay on the call. If any of you want to get things are stuck or challenges or whatever, we'd love to help. That's what we're here for. So I appreciate you all and all that you do, and just loving your communities like you do.
Yeah.
So that is it.
cool.
Have a happy Wednesday, everybody.
Thank you,
Happy
everybody.
October.
All right, see you
Happy
later.
birthday. Thank you so much. For
Oh, thank you. All right.